Begin, just check you've got a couple of cushions or pillows with you. Quite nice to have a bit of height, because we're going to do that thing where you lie back on cushions and we want to get a nice arch in the spine. So if it's only one cushion, for most people you don't actually really feel that. So it might be worth having two or maybe even three. And we're going to begin with that. Actually, let's do our circles first and then we'll go down and do that. So sitting cross-legged, give you time to find all your cushions. Bring your hands to your knees, sit up nice and tall. There's a simple practice of beginning by noticing your breath, breathing in and out through your nose. There's no rush, we've got a full 30 minutes together. So we don't have to rush on to the next thing. You can be present here with your breath. Dropping right ear to right shoulder. Circling chin down to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And then coming up and over. Noticing the breath as you do that. So on Tuesday we did a practice that focused quite a lot on the shoulders, actually, and the arms, because that's an entry route to your heart space. Change directions. So we'll do a little bit of that as well today. And then circling your shoulders. Nice inhale as the shoulders come up. Coming back and down as you exhale. And perhaps bringing your elbows in. Maybe forearm extensions, whatever feels right. A lot of this is about just trusting the impulse. But bear in mind you're doing a heart practice, so this is less about swinging your arms around and more about getting into the space, the cavity of your heart, your ribs, your diaphragm. So good to wake up this way. And then bringing your hands to your knees, if you feel stable enough, and circling the heart. And then changing direction. And then keeping your hands on your knees, just rocking your heart forwards and back. So as you inhale, coming forwards, your gaze will lift. As you exhale, dropping your heart back, your chin will drop towards your chest. And then lifting your arms up overhead. Reach up through your fingertips, wriggle your fingers, stretch up tall. I wonder if you had the same as me when you were little, this thing of catching apples, or reaching up for apples, one side and then the other. I think that was from ballet classes. We can do that too. And then folding your elbows, holding on to either side. Let's get the diaphragm to fully engage with the breath. So as you inhale, let your tummy expand, a proper Buddha belly. And as you exhale, pull the tummy in towards the spine. And even if that doesn't happen naturally, you can just do it anyway, like press the tummy out as you inhale. And pull the tummy in as you exhale. In a world that wants you to have a skinny tummy, this can be quite a revolutionary action, in fact. And then open the elbows out to the side, but keep the palms open, fingers strong, cactus arms, and just draw the shoulder blades down your back, away from your ears. Be sure there's no tension in your neck. And we're going to go just to the right to begin with. So take a nice inhale at the center, and as you exhale, you're going to turn to the right, and then come back to center as you inhale. And you're going to start to build up a bit of pace with that. Nothing forced. It's not meant to be jerky or difficult or challenging. But there is some effort required. And then going quite fast for the last bit. And then come to center. Rest your hands in your lap. Take a moment to let that settle down. Reach your arms up as you inhale. Exhale as you take the elbows out to the side. And we'll do the same in the other direction. So quite slowly, quite gracefully to begin with. Inhale at center. Exhale over to the left. Picking up a bit of pace. And then for the last part, really quite fast, but with the breath. And then coming back down to center, dropping your hands into your lap, letting that settle. Quite a strong pose for the energetic body, as well as the physical body. Take your hands behind your back, interlink your fingers, press the palms away, open up the front of the chest as you look up, and let your ribcage rise away from your pelvis. And as you exhale, fold forwards, maybe the arms come up a little bit behind you. Inhale as you come back up. Open your arms out to the side. Keep them at shoulder height. It's quite tempting to have them up higher, but keep them at shoulder height. Turn the fingers away from you, so the fingers are pointing up towards the ceiling. And then press the walls away, Superman style. But at the same time, draw the upper arm into the hip socket, into the shoulder socket. And take some deep breaths. I always close my eyes here because I find it interesting to trace where this is strong for me. So I did this on Tuesday and I could really feel it in my armpits, but actually today I'm feeling it more in my palms. And certainly I find this to be a strong pose. I don't know if you do as well. 3 more breaths here. And then inhale, reach your arms up high. Bend the right elbow, hand comes to the shoulder, between the shoulders. Bring your left hand to the top of the right elbow to help it point up towards the ceiling, rather than letting it drop down or go out to the side. And you might find your right fingertips move a little bit closer down between your shoulder blades, and then let the left hand sweep out to the side, round and up behind, maybe drawing your fingertips towards one another. And again, this is a really moving landscape on my body. Sometimes I can hold hands and look like a pro, and other times there's like 100 miles between my fingertips. And certainly if you've ever had any frozen shoulder, and so many of us have, then this can be a real challenge. So go gently, find your place. Trust that your body knows what it's doing. You don't need to force it into any shapes it doesn't want to go into. And then releasing the arms. Interlink your fingers in front of you, press the palms forwards, drop your chin towards your chest, rock your heart back, let the shoulder blades slide apart as you breathe into the back of your heart. This pose is always where I keep my secret stash of yawns. Little pockets of tiredness that I come into. Okay. And then coming back up, take both arms up. Fold the left elbow, bring the right hand to the top of the left elbow. And gently starting to encourage that elbow to go back and point directly upwards. And then sweeping the right hand out to the side and back, and it can be very different. One side to the other. Try to smile, try to soften. And then release. And bringing your arms down to your side. So sometimes that feels like little champagne bubbles start to suddenly be able to move through my arms. I don't know if it's the same for you. Okay, we're going to lie down now. So bring your cushions quite close to the small of your back. They don't need to be right up against you. They can be like, I don't know, that's what, 3-4 inches away. And then lay down on your back. So you want the height of the pillows to be between the shoulder blades, however that feels, you know. Adjust yourself to find the place where your shoulder blades get to pull in towards one another and the front of your chest opens up. And then open your arms out wide to the side. And then with your knees are bent, let the soles of the feet come together and drop the knees out to the side. And take some breaths. So you want it to feel like a really nourishing pose. This is not supposed to be a feel the burn baby pose. The neck is meant to be happy and supported. And you can focus your practice on breathing into your heart space here. Well done. And then bring your hands to the outside of your thighs. Let your hands guide your knees back together. Walk the feet slightly apart. And then use your hands, your arms to bring you back up. We're going to lie on our front. We're going to do that funny little pose that really gets into our shoulders. So if you're unsure as to what it is we're doing, you might want to watch me first. So you lie on your front, you take your elbows out to the side just like we were before in cactus, head to the side. And then let's start by lifting the left hand just a little higher. So the elbows aren't in line with one another, the left elbow's a little higher. And then the right hand comes alongside your chest with the elbow up above the air, up above the floor. And you roll slowly to your left hand side, keeping your head on the floor. And you should be feeling a really nice stretch across your chest and in your armpit and through your shoulder. So I'll do that again in case someone was sitting and watching. So you start off just in cactus. Left hand rises just a little, maybe an inch or two. Right hand comes alongside the chest to help you wriggle your way onto your side, resting your head on the floor. And then you take some breaths. And sometimes these muscles are tight because you're strong. Tightness isn't a failure. It's either a protection or it's just incredibly strong. The more you breathe into this space, the more it will open up for you. Well done. Lower yourself down. Neutralize the arms so the elbows are at the same height. We're going to turn the other way. So now the right hand goes a little higher. Turning your gaze to the left. Bring your left hand in towards you. And then wriggle yourself onto your side, keeping your head down on the floor. Hips are stacked. And then lowering yourself down. Bring your hands either side of your chest. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Once again, check your neck is completely happy with everything that's going on today. Press down through your palms and come up into a little cobra. You do not have to go high on this. My cobras are quite high. My body quite likes them. But for many people, they're down here. And exhale as you lower yourself to the floor. Let's push back through our hands, sitting back on heels, stretching arms out in prayer pose. And in prayer pose, you're going to walk your hands a little further forward so you get a nice lengthening through the armpits. And then you're going to bend your elbows and bring your hands together overhead, pressing the palms in. Then if you push your elbows, you might actually walk your elbows a little further forward and you get a really nice stretch through the armpit here. So feel free to experiment. It might be that it doesn't feel like a stretch to you, and for others it might feel excruciating. And then release the hands. Bring them down either side of your knees. Inhale as you come up. Let's reach arms up overhead. Exhale, bring hands to the floor, coming into table. Inhale, a little bit of cat and cow. Exhale as you tuck. Go again. Third time. Back to neutral, walk your hands forwards. Melt your heart towards the floor, bottom stays high. 3 breaths here. Lifting your gaze, rocking your weight forwards as you come back down onto your tummy. Let's lower the elbows so you're in Sphinx Pose. Hands are flat to the floor. Inhale, pull the shoulder blades down, lift the gaze, front collarbones lift. And then press through the hands, or don't. You can keep the elbows on the floor if you prefer. Very strong on lower back to have the arms straight. This is also perfectly lovely if you're feeling like this is opening up the front of your chest. As soon as you straighten your arms, it really drops down into your lower back anyway. And we're trying to keep it about the heart. Forehead to the floor, hands either side of chest, sit back on heels. Inhale, raise arms overhead, come up onto knees. Exhale, onto all fours. 3 rounds of cat and cow with your breath. Step your hands forwards. As you inhale and as you exhale, drop the heart to the floor. 3 breaths here. Roll your weight forwards, coming all the way up into Sphinx Pose. Taking your variation. If you want to play with strengthening it even more, then bend your knees, bring your toes together. So for me that now suddenly that goes into the territory of pinching the lower back. So I'm going to stay on my elbows, but you might be able to straighten your arms. Straighten the legs, drop the forehead to the floor, hands either side of chest, sitting back on heels. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, onto all fours. Let's tuck toes under, take a down dog. Such a nice counterpose to all those back bends. Heels dropping to the floor. One more deep breath here. Walk the feet slightly further apart. Take the hands back towards the feet so you're coming into a forward fold. Crossing arms, back of the heart. Dropping hands to the floor, let the toes point outwards. Inhale as you look forwards, and as you exhale, bend the knees, come down low, bring your hands to your heart. Hands return to the floor, straighten the legs. Bring the toes back in, forward fold. Walking your hands forwards. Coming into a down dog. From down dog, travel to high plank. And you can drop your knees or you can take chaturanga, entirely up to you. Inhaling as you come up. As you exhale, lower yourself back down onto the ground. Bend your knees, catch hold of your feet. Knees will normally slide slightly further apart. Bending the elbows, keeping your forehead flat to the floor. Pull your toes up towards your shoulder blades and press your hips into the floor. Then wrapping your hands around the inside of your feet. Kick the feet into the hands. Thighs may rise up off the floor, heart may rise up off the floor, and breathe. Lift your gaze just ahead of your mat. Lowering yourself down, bringing your hands to your either side of your chest. Sit back on your heels. And return your hands to prayer above your head. Releasing the hands down, either side of your knees. Coming back up to sitting, hands to heart. Namaste, everybody. Big expanded hearts for the day.